Good day to you. Hey, it's Gary Cox, and we're going to talk about the ability to get to that next level faster, not just saying it, but giving you some strategies and more so the psychological concepts and principles that you need to make things move faster. Yes, smarter, not harder. If you're watching this live, give me a 1 in the comments below. If you're watching this on a replay, give me a 3 in the comments below. And also, if you have not subscribed, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, we'd love to have you as part of our community, because this is where success and freedom lives. All right, so let's get started. When I was a teenager, I got my second business at 15, and shortly after that, I was making over $100,000 a year. And if I knew what I knew now, I could have taken it even faster, quicker. And that was at 17, which would be equivalent to probably, I don't know, $3 or $4 million now. So I want to share with you how we can create a concept where there's always a smarter way to do things and a smarter way to grow your business. So wherever I'm at and whatever journey I'm at in my company, and when I'm working and consulting for other people, I'm always looking for ways that I can get them to move to that next level faster. And many times it's just the movement or the change or the little switch of something. You know, in aviation, when we fly, you can literally be off 2 degrees. I mean, that's not much, 2 degrees, and that can take you literally into another country where you're not wanting to go. On the other hand, if you're off just 2 degrees and you adjust it just 2 degrees, it can bring you back to where you thought you never could attain. So really cool stuff. So let me give you an example. Many of you may know or may not know that I'm an avid aviation fan, and I have my flight instructor's license. Now, that's not something I do for a living. It's something I wanted to do because I enjoy flying, and I wanted to constantly keep myself on top of, my skills and what have you. So this was a great way to do it, because every couple, years I'm forced by the FAA to take certain courses, and because I'm forced to do it, it makes me stay fresh. All right, so let me give you an example. One of the things, like let's say you came to me and said, Gary, I would love to learn how to fly an airplane, just maybe how to do some landings or something like that. And you wanted me to show you how to do it. So let me give you a concept of how this would work. And also, if you went to another instructor, what would happen? So let's say you go to a flight instructor and he says, yeah, here's what we're going to do. First of all, you start off by, learning how to fly straight and level. But let's say now you're at the point that you're going to be learning how to actually land the aircraft. So once you take off, you come back around. This is called a pattern. All right, you come back into the pattern, and right here, the last 10 seconds, that's the part that's going to kill you. That's the part you really, really, really got to master, because that's the landing, right? Now, this, depending on the size of the airport, the runway, the pattern, how busy it is, and so forth, let's say on average it's going to take 10 minutes, right? So 10 minutes it takes you to do this pattern. Now, you come around and you land, and in 10 seconds, that's really where it gets a little crazy. You got to, you may be blown a little bit with the wind. And then you land, you do what's called a touch and go, right? A touch and go, all right? And you come back around and you do it again. This touch and go, in 10 minutes, you will do 1 touch and go. So we go 10 minutes. All right, 10 minutes equals 1 touch and go. So in an hour, 6 times 10, 60 minutes in an hour. In an hour, we can do how many touch and goes? We can do 6 touch and goes, 6 touch and goes. Now, I'm thinking, wait a minute, there's got to be a smarter way to do this. And also, I'm going to come up with another video in the next couple days or so on showing people or sharing with you how to become a good teacher. I will say of 95%, and I am not exaggerating, I have gone through 40 different type of, 40 different instructors in all the years I've been taking lessons and training and so forth. I would say out of 40 of them, maybe 5% are really good teachers. Most teachers, instructors, whatever, they are very poor teachers. So I'm going to share with you some strategies on how to be a really good teacher. And for me, it's really frustrating when somebody tries to teach me when I see how terrible they are as a teacher. So you have to also have the ability to effectively communicate and teach to be able to do this in a smart way, or a good way, I should say. All right, so we do one touch and go in 6 minutes. So I came up with a strategy. I thought, now wait a minute, you're going to spend 10 minutes to master 6 to 10 seconds worth of something at the bottom that's really, really important, because anybody can take it off. I mean, I'm not minimizing the skill of a pilot, but taking off an airplane, flying it around in a pattern, I can literally teach you how to do that in 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm not exaggerating. It's the landing that's going to kill you. So I figured out, okay, how about we do this? How about instead of in 10 minutes do one landing, how about we do 3? That's right, 3 landings. So we're going to land. We're going to take off again, only about 50 feet or so, come back down, do another one, come back down, do another one, and go back up around again. So now, instead of doing 1 touch and go in 10 minutes, we're now doing 3 touch and goes. Instead of doing 6 touch and goes in an hour, we're now doing how many? 18. We're going to be 3 times quicker and more efficient than the average person taking a lesson from the average instructor. Now, let's talk about this. If this is so, why then do other instructors not do this? Now, keep in mind, the whole concept is there's always a better, faster way. Now, faster, I'm saying faster doesn't mean that we're minimizing the ability to show somebody how to be less skilled. This takes way more skill to master than going around doing this once every 10 minutes. This takes some skill, and when a student is ready to be able to do something like this, they're going to be far more advanced than the average pilot. But then why doesn't the average instructor teach something like this? For example, I want you to understand why people don't often open their mind to see that there's faster ways, smarter ways to grow their business, to change their financial future. There's so many ways to do this if we're willing to open up our minds. But let me share with you why and where this concept just gets blocked with so many people. And it all stems from this. We're too concerned about what other people think. Think about that. What? We're too concerned about what other people think. Let me give you an example. The average instructor, if they're out here, let's say there's a fence over here by the airport. All right, so you got a fence over here, and you got your instructor or somebody watching. They're going to be watching going, oh my gosh, because literally if you saw somebody go up and down and up and down, most pilots or instructors watching from far would think there's a terrible instructor in there, or that student doesn't know what they're doing, because you're bouncing off the runway and you're coming back down, you're bouncing off the runway and you're coming back down. That makes absolutely no sense. That seems a little crazy. But because they're so overly concerned about what other people think, I know when I teach this, I know if people are watching, they're thinking that same thing. And you know what? I don't care. In fact, it's so unorthodox, and also the strategies that I share with people to help them grow their business faster meaning literally being able to do a 6-figure income that takes a person a year to be able to do it in one event or one day, that they're not open-minded enough, and they're overly concerned about what other people think about them. Wait a minute, you're going to bring in Gary Cox and hire this guy, and he's going to show you what? Are you kidding me? So now I'm not overly concerned about this. And by the way, it's so unorthodox. Just as much as often it's unorthodox for somebody to think that they can literally do 6 figures in maybe one event or one day, that I actually have to call the tower. And I let them know, okay, hey, I'm going to do some training, and I'm going to ask for what's called the option. The option means we would like to have the option to do whatever we want pretty much when we come into landing. We can land and stop. We can land and touch and go. We can fly over the runway 100 feet and keep going. We have the option. But I'm also going to tell them it's going to look like we're a little drunk, but everything that we're doing is intentional. And because of this being unorthodox, people refuse to do something like this, which is in the best interest of the student. So there's always a faster way to do things. So I want you to be thinking, how open-minded are you in your life to look for faster ways to have better relationships, faster ways to grow your business, faster ways to take care of your health better, lose your weight. There's always a smarter way. So I'm obsessed with this type of stuff. And anytime I'm in any process with a client or even my company, I'm looking for ways to go faster, expand faster, not necessarily harder, because you can put in more hours, but I would rather do something smarter. Do we have to put in more hours to make this more effective? No. In fact, we could do it in less. Instead of spending an hour with a student, we could do 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, you would only do 3 of these, but doing it the way I'm doing it is we would do 9. We're still 3 times faster, and we can do it in half the amount of time. So now we're doing it like maybe 4 times faster. That's crazy. So always understand, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. Think about that. Let's change cameras here. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. So when I say you can't change what you don't acknowledge, whoops, let me get my camera on here. There we go. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. And if you're not willing to acknowledge that there's a possibility of being able to attain a level, especially in your business, faster than you're attaining it now, then you'll have a closed mind. So I encourage you to have an open mind. Love to see in the bottom 3 times faster in the comments. Type 3 times faster. There's ways to do things a lot faster by working smarter, not harder. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'd love to make sure you please share, comment, and like it. We're having a lot of challenges with our social media. And as many of you know, we got hacked on Twitter. We got hacked on YouTube. I had 3,000 videos on YouTube, and we got those hacked. Anyway, life happens. It's the way it is. And we're out of here between now and the next time we get to chat. You know what to do. And if you don't, you do now. Don't let others rent space in your head. Have an awesome day. We'll see you.